Hello peeps, it's a hillbilly halfwit. How are you today? Oh, I'm doing a bit of a walk today. I need a bit of a walk anyway. Bit windy today. I think we've got a bit of a thunderstorm coming in or something. Feels like it. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today is, have you noticed? Labour are back to their old tricks again. They've been like it all their life. Tax and spend. More tax, spend it. More tax, spend it. All the businesses in the UK, business rates are absolutely going through the roof. I saw one the other day where I can't quite remember what the shop was. His business rates had gone up from 8,000 to 15,000. Now, in next month. Nearly doubled. Absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal. So that's what they do. That's how Labour have always been. They don't want businesses. They don't understand business because they're all academic little students playing their game. Now, the same with farming, really, when you think about it. Like in farming, people invest into whatever, chicken sheds or pig sheds or sheep sheds or more ground so they can increase their profits and increase their production for the more people that are working on their farm or whatever, or their children. So now with these new things are happening. Say you invest £1 million into your farm, which most things are now if you're a reasonable sized farm. Your inheritance tax will go up 100,000. So probably all the profit you'll get off that thing for 10 years will be nothing. It's complete disincentive for businesses around the UK. It's because they're not a business community. They're civil servants in disguise who like spending our money on nonsense. So if you don't know, when Labour came into power, there was all of a sudden this 20 billion black hole, remember? Oh, we're in big trouble. So what they did, they borrowed an extra 60 billion. So I think we owe about 2 trillion 300 million or something like that it is, off the top of my head. So we owe a lot of our money. It's 120% of the UK GDP. So we owe more and we take in. And during COVID, they spent 400 billion. So we borrowed 60 billion, which is, the defence budget is 64 billion. So we borrowed only slightly under what the defence budget is, and they've spaffed it all up the wall already within 6 months. So the growth of the UK economy now has been backtracked to half of what they said it would be. So basically it's going to, and they said it had risen by 1%, from what I understand, 0.1% a month ago. But anybody who had any idea what was going on there realised that that is in the margin, so it hasn't risen at all. It was just in the margin of error. So last week they came out and said it's dropped back down now, so it was made up. We've got incompetent fools running the place. Incompetent fools. You'd be better off just walking down the street, picking up random people, anybody, and putting them in positions of power, because they're not business people. They are not business people. And it's sad to see our great country going down the pan like it is. You know, we've got communists in charge, and the guy in charge now, Mr. Starmer, is actually, if you notice, the only television appearances he has now are when he's abroad or he's in a military suit. You watch. He hasn't done nothing at home because he realises that's it'll be like that. He looks great in the election. So we're going to see this now for the next 4 or 5 years. Every time he goes on TV, he'll be doing something militarized or something with Ukraine. And that war, even though lots of us don't want it to stop, will be carried on as long as possible to get him re-elected. And now you realise these people who are pretending to be left-wing aren't left-wing at all, because they've done worse than the Tories. They've taxed businesses, put VAT on businesses, which has put a lot of businesses out of business. It's I can see a recession coming. Genuinely, I can see a big recession coming. I think it's going to be one of them big fucking crashes like we had in 2009 or 6, whatever it was. Could be worse than that. Because they're just spending money that we haven't got. And on top of that, if that war starts then, it's like the EU now having a go at Putin and all that. I'm not on anybody's side at the moment, I just want to see the war stopped. But apparently, these are the figures. Total EU have given Ukraine is 19 billion. And the total money they've given Russia to buy fuel off them, Germany and all the rest of it, is 22 billion. So they bought 22 billion pounds worth of fuel off Russia and they've given 19 of it back to Ukraine. That's the insanity of it all. Fucking insanity. So what a madness, eh? What a madness. We got people running the country, they couldn't run a bath. Could not run a bath. I know, like I say with these videos lately, I think there's something a bit weird going on my channel again. They do it every now and then, and it gets a reprieve for about 2 days. But it's back on a bit of a something now because people aren't allowed to share my videos for some reason. And I was watching 2 videos yesterday I put up, and they were going up to 700 views. And then when I looked next, it was dropping back to 400 and going like that all the time. On both of them. So what's going on there, I don't know. We're obviously saying the right thing, but the wrong thing for them, aren't we? But there we are. This channel isn't for making money, it's for doing the right thing. Of course it's nice for more people to see things, but I realised a long time ago that if you actually say the truth and the right things, you do get censored big time. Like I said, and lots of channels don't realise it. And lots of them who do realise it are afraid to say anything. Like I say, lots of the farming channels now woke up a little bit. But they get themselves into positions where they need that money coming in then. And all they want is, when they put a video up and it comes up with a little yellow mark on it, to see that your video has partly been demonetized, and they change their tune. Don't you worry. Back to selling cattle crushers. Oh God. It does make me laugh actually when the farming industry is really on its arse. And the price of stock and everything is good. But the reason that is because there isn't so much around. And because last year lots of people sold it off. That's what's happening, and it'll get to a bit of a point where that'll just crash. It always does. It happened all my life. This time of year the price of stock is always up. So what usually happens when the sheep prices, I'll tell you exactly what happens. I follow it all the time. So from now on, it's always quite good this time of year because people are selling the lambs that they kept from last year. So you have lots of people who've bought in store lambs and they've been selling them the last month or two. So the price is always good now. Goes up to around £3 a kilo. and it's a bit higher at the moment. Same with cattle, really, store cattle. Then as they go, as they get less, as they've been sold, the newer lambs come in, and the price drops back down a bit again until they've grown up a little bit. So you get middle of the year then, about August, it starts to be a decent price again. July and August, because this year's lambs are starting to get to the size where they can be sold, some of the bigger breeds. And then at about September, it starts to drop down again. So before then it gets to about £3 a kilo, and then about September it drops down again to around £2.50 a kilo. Sometimes £2 if it's a bad year. And then the cycle starts again. So in January and February, usually about the end of January, it goes up again to about £3 a kilo for people selling the store lambs they bought the year before, or store cattle. So they have been good this year, to be fair. But remember, farm incomes have dropped like a stone. So I think there's going to be a recession coming now in the next month. I think businesses are afraid to spend anything. They're terrified that they can't pay these new VAT things on the employers' tax. So be careful, people. Be very careful. I think we've got a crash coming round the corner. Please subscribe and try sharing a few of my videos, because there's definitely something a bit weird with it. People have been telling me that they can't share videos and things. I think we are under attack a bit. But never mind. All the best, guys.